So I fried my power steering pump. I don't know if it was just old or the last Autocross did it in, but started giving me that stuff going on. So went to Rock Auto, got a new one, installed it, all brand new fluid, you know, the good stuff, not transmission fluid. And then I decided to put a cooler on it. Kind of after the fact, but here we are. And I got this particular one because of these mounting tabs. A lot of them don't have that, and they give you these little zip type push through things with the pads. Don't use these, maybe if you're in a jam, but the problem with these things is they break, they get brittle, they loosen up, they fall off, and probably at a time when you really need it. Also came with some nice hose clamps and some hose, of course, not enough. So this is a derail cooler. I got off of Summit for, I think it was 32 bucks for the kit. It is 13 inches long overall. And I picked this size because I wanted to get it down below the fill part of the system because it's easier to get air bubbles out of it. I mean, you can put it up higher. This is just a little bit better. And it fits nice in front of the radiator just on one side. The problem is mounting it. So let's take a look and see what we can do. So here's what we're using. There's the new pump. Here's the steering box. You're going to plumb into the low pressure line here. And you know it's the low pressure line because it doesn't have the super nice compressed fittings for the high pressure side. You just usually have a hose clamp back here. There's another one. And so I think I'm going to run the lines through this area and stick the cooler up down here. So let me get some things tore apart and see how we're going to do it. Got the grill out. Let's figure out where this is going to work. I want to put it somewhere in here. I want it down here, although that would probably be okay. The hoses are going to come through this little hole here, this little area between the frame and the thing, but I don't want to put straps down, and I don't want to drill any new holes. What I do have is I got a factory hole here for the AC, and I got another factory hole here for the AC. One's lower than the other, so if I put something straight across and use those, that'll tilt the cooler a little bit, and that might be just fine because I want the ends to be up a little bit because I don't want to trap air in there. I don't think it would anyway, but it just makes it that much easier. So I'm going to try to come up with something that goes all the way across and gives me good support. So let's take a look. Well, I came up with this. This is a 1/2 inch hollow steel tube. And I think I can weld some flat steel to it, drill holes, and go straight across. So I'll paint it black. And I like the idea of this round is because it won't mess with the airflow going to the radiator. I didn't want to put a big like angle iron or something like that. So I'm going to do some measuring and cutting and see what I can build. It's on. Pretty solid mount. Not going anywhere. I use night locks back there to really hold it on place. It's at a bit of an angle. Helps keep the air out. I didn't quite get it straight up and down, but I don't think that's going to matter. So now I need to get my lines figured out. So this is what came with it. It's Continental. It's not enough, and so I went to the boneyard. I found this Gates transmission oil cooler hose. I think that's going to be just fine. It's the same idea, same temperature range. And so I'm going to hook this up to the cooler, run it through, zip tie, get everything I like, then get it up into here before I crack open that system. I'm probably going to end up cutting that line and try to make it as simple and clean as I can. So here we go. Got the lines ran. I had, this one was a little tight, so I had a little WD-40 in there, and that got her going. Zip tie these up a little bit. There's no real sharp edges in here, or I'd probably wrap another piece of rubber around it. I don't want these hoses moving all over, but you don't want it to be solidly locked, because the whole car is shifting. And I'm just going to bring it right into here. I'm going to cut, probably flare this tube a little bit for a good connection, and this one will have to go up or under and loop around to there. I'll have to play around with it, see what makes sense. But I'm going to crack the system open and take all the fluid that I just put in, and I put this new pump in and trash it. Done and back together. I did end up cutting this line here. I gave it a nice little flare to it, cleaned it up with a file, put it back on. Got things zip tied together. I ended up running that other return hose back up here to the connection, and everything can move around a little bit for flex, and I'll keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't, there's no sharp spots it can rub a hole on. If so, I'll probably put another layer around this and just let it ride. But I've topped off the fluid, let it run for a little bit, no air. And I guess the way I know it works is I don't have to change another power steering pump. So I've got another race this weekend. I'll do another video on that, but the weather looks like it's going to be kind of rainy, so it won't be that great. And thanks for watching.